Hello, once again. I welcome you in the second episode of the Youth Talk, an amazing conversation brought to you by MakeWay program in VSO Rwanda, where we tackle many challenging issues about the sexual reproductive health and rights. Rwanda has made an amazing job at tackling these issues, but many or a big work is actually left to be done. And arts is one of the tools used to promote this advocacy, but also create the change that we want to see in the coming years. I'm not alone today. I am with amazing people, and I'm about to introduce you to them because when I look at what art has done, it makes me hopeful that a change is coming. Sherry Silva, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Andy. So glad to be here.
By seeing you dance, I've become a dancer.
Please, you were dancing before you even knew I existed.
And I love what you're doing with the kids.
Thank you.
What inspired you to start the dance itself, but also why the kids?
So dance is, of course, a talent that I think most Africans have.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the kids, it's about teaching them that through dance, they can change their lives. A lot of the kids we work with, they came thinking that they had nothing to offer, maybe because their financial situation wasn't great. But we're here to show them that you do have something to offer, which is your talent. Mm-hmm. And whatever your talent is, you can hopefully use it to create a whole career for yourself. So yeah, dance, kids.
Dance and the kids. So it means that us grown-ups can't come in the program?
Yeah, you can actually. And we do have some slightly older ones.
Yes.
Yeah, anyone with a talent is welcome. And people without talent are welcome as well, because we're here to help you discover your talent.
Oh, great. Discovering your talent is one of the beautiful things that one can help another, because I believe that everyone has a talent, but sometimes we don't discover it.
Yeah, it just might not be an artistic talent.
Yes. We're not alone. We are also with Patience Muhoza, a youth engagement advisor with VSO Rwanda, leading impactful sexual and reproductive health rights. I want to understand, what are the biggest issues that you've been tackling from the moment you started working with the youth and also with the marginalized community?
Thank you, Andy, and I'm very happy to be here. There are very many issues we're faced with the marginalized youth, mostly finding the services of SRHR, the sexual reproductive health services, like getting to know their body, how the body works, the reproductive system of them. So you find like the marginalized youth, the youth in villages, they can't recover what's about their bodies, how they can tackle the problems, all the issues that they can face about the sexual reproductive health. So mostly those are the issues we found with them, and we're trying to see how we can tackle them with the government, with the private sectors, with the local NGOs, the international NGOs. So we work in a collabo to help the marginalized youth and using the inclusivity, leaving no one behind.
Thank you so much, Patience. Next, we have Eric Ngabonziza, a youth champion who's been on the ground to advocate and engage marginalized communities. Welcome again on this program, Eric.
Thank you.
I'm sure that you go through many challenges as a youth, but also working with youth that have impairments. So how has it been your journey being an advocate of sexual reproductive health and rights?
Thank you. I'm going to share my story with you. Deaf community have so many problems. About the sexual reproductive health. They don't have access to that information. And then secondly, in the schools, some schools are not inclusive. Even the parents don't take kids to schools. They are left at home. So for me, as an advocate, I was advocating even for the health education, even for the education in general, especially for the awareness and to raise up and to help those kids to be taken to school. And for the sexual reproductive health services, in some hospitals there's no community, especially for the deaf patients, because the doctors don't know sign language. The nurses don't know sign language, so it is a big challenge to come to the hospital while you know there is no communication there. So it is still a barrier that we are facing today. So for me, when I met the deaf community and the parents who has the children who have deaf impairments, so I try to raise awareness and tell the parents to go to study the sign language and to help those to help. As a youth champion, I have that responsibility to help to advocate for that issue.
And so, do you think that we are making progress as a country to tackle those different issues, those different challenges in your every single day life? You mentioned about the hospital, you've mentioned about different places where you get the services, in schools. How do you think that we are tackling that as a country? Do you think we're making progress, or there's still more work to be done?
The progress has been made to advocate, especially from the governments and other NGOs, to raise awareness and so that we can get good services. But the progress is there, but there's still some work to do, especially for advocating for the people with disability. But the special issue is the mentality of the people, the community. So they have some wrong mentality about. They say ikiragi. That's you're using those wrong words. It's like discriminating us. So you should raise awareness for even to take and advocate to take their community as human beings, not as instruments. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. I think that is a take home, because as we all believe, it's not even just about the belief. It's actually a fact that disability is not inability. And so, share yourself out. We are in 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. Gender-based violence must be fought with all our strength every single day of our lives. But now that we are even emphasizing it in these 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, how do you think that youth can use art, or everyone actually, generally, how can we use art to advocate for this sexual and reproductive health rights?
So I always say that art, especially dance, is not just movement as moving your body, but also a movement as you can advocate, you can spread messages through it. Some people just look at the arts as something to entertain, but it can be used as something to educate, and has been for many years. So with my career, I've been a part of many projects which are entertaining but have a message. So young people can use their talents, whether it's in acting, to make a play about sexual health and reproduction, or even gender-based violence, and educate people in an interesting and engaging way as to why they should care about these issues. And I think that's why arts is so amazing. And just even working with UN, I'm in these rooms full of all these politicians or businessmen, and I'm just the random dancer there or choreographer there. And the reason I'm there is because I'm doing the same job that they are doing, which is advocating, but in a way that actually engages young people.
Okay.
So yeah, if you have a talent, whether it's poetry or dancing or writing songs, you have a very big advantage when it comes to advocating for issues like this.
Yes. I think that sometimes people confuse advocacy with just using words, but you use your body, you use the rhythm and the tempo to bring in that message. How does it go? How's the process of creating that with that message in your mind? And how does that message turn into a move?
Right?
Yeah.
That's an interesting question. An example is, so I'm the EFAD advocate for rural youths. And one way that we were able to advocate for rural youths was by creating a dance challenge on TikTok a few years ago called Dance for Change.
Dance for Change?
Yeah.
Was it like a hashtag?
It was a hashtag, Dance
Okay.
for Change. And we got, I don't know if it was 100 million in engagement. But what we basically did is I made a choreography. I teamed up with my friend, Mr. Easy, and he made the song. and the song basically said farming is freedom.
Okay.
I made the dance. Then we partnered together and we had these young people dancing to farming is freedom.
Okay.
So every single time a young person danced to it, they and uploaded their video, that would be part of a statistic in an online campaign, which we then took to world leaders and said, hey, look, there's 100 million in engagement here. So all these people really care about these young people, so you need to get involved. Young people don't want to be spoken at. We want to be engaged, and actually young people care about these issues because they affect them the most. But we just have to make it interesting for them to want to get involved.
Yes. And we are getting there, isn't it?
Yes, of course, and you know, having people like you and different musicians and artists who have platforms speaking out, that's a really great way to advocate for important issues.
Amazing. And that brings me to kind of thinking about the core of when we say gender-based violence. Sometimes we have a number of youth who hears that, but they don't actually know what does that mean. As a also youth advocate working with VSO Rwanda, what is gender-based violence? Like how can a youth know that they're going through a gender-based violence?
Thank you, Andy. Many people, they don't understand well what's gender-based violence, but it's any violence that a human being can be done to. Not a female, not a male, anyone. So mostly the people say that it's about the female people. No, it's about any violence you can be done as a human. So if someone can make you, like, discriminate you, like
Body shame you.
yeah, those the media shaming,
Now we have a lot of social media shaming, which is
yeah,
Right.
all of those are gender-based violence. Those are violences that someone can face. So the gender-based violence, we have to end it, not in one way, but not saying like it's for females, it's for males. In general, we have to fight it to all gender.
And so what is like that take home or that advice that you would give the youth in particular in this particular 16 days of activism against gender-based violence? Because I think that we must be the one to advocate against it as the youth, but also on the other side, we must take everyone with us. It's not just a movement of the youth. It's for everyone. Now, what is their take home in this 16 days? What is the reminder? What is it that we have to always remember about this issue that we must tackle together?
I can focus on the theme, the national theme of Act Now and gender-based violence. So the take-home theme or message is to act now. Don't let time go. Like you say, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. No, act now. If you see someone is facing a violence, act on it. Make advocacy. If you can report that case anywhere or you can get a solution for that, make it. Don't say like, okay, that's not my thing, that's not my business. Normal people, that's what they say. I can't care about things which are not my business, but still the person is being violated, so you have to act now. Normally, I can say the country says that the youth are the strongest body we have in this country, so you act now as a youth.
In Africa, even in the world now.
Yeah, so you have to work on it. Don't let it for others to do it. Don't let like for the country to do it. You're the country, you're the person, you have to work on it. So I think the take-home message, it's about the theme that we have. It's acting now. If you see someone is facing that violence, you work on it. Report that case if it's there. So we have to end them by acting now.
As we are in this 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, how does the MakeWay program align with this global movement?
Mostly, the MakeWay program, they're doing the campaign against it. So the campaign is about the theme, of course. So the youth, they're making competitions. And after, they'll see the talented people, they give them awards. So those competitions, they're like to make the youth feel like they are capable, or they have talents, they have to bring them up. Those with impairment, they don't have to say we're not capable, we are, so we are raising the campaigns. That's one thing. The podcast, of course, the one we are making, and the campaigns around the media tour campaigns, the talk shows that will be running. So I think, and all those will be done by the youth under MakeWay program. So I think that's a big thing, a big empowerment that will be giving the youth to feel the space, feel like they have the space to work into, and they have to work on it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Eric, we are seeing changes and impactful changes about really improving the communication, the services, the life around impaired people. But sometimes we also see it's a long way for people with impairment to also believe in themselves. So, what is that advice that you give to fellow youth who must be having impairment that would push them to believe in themselves, that would push them to fight for their dreams, that would push them to understand that actually disability is not inability?
Thank you. As people with disability have, the main problem is the mentality. First thing God gave us her life, but God gave the same ability like other people. We should have confidence. We are all the same in front of God. So no one is above anyone. So we are all the same at the same level. So disability is not inability. So some disabled people drive cars. So you should you have confidence for yourself, believe in yourself, and then even speak up for yourself. Some people, disabled people, go to the meeting, they give advices. Like me, like I'm an university student, and I'm the only deaf in my classroom, but I just copy and learn, and then I have confidence for myself. That's why I have arrived at that level. So I could get even the certificate and the diploma like other students. So my advice to all those people who have disability is to have confidence in themselves, to believe in themselves, to feel free to address their problem and to speak up. And even the government can recognize like their presence and know their challenges. Not staying at home, just stand for yourself and speak up. Thank you.
Amazing. Yes. How do you say I am able, or tell a person, teach me how to tell a person you are able in sign language?
Like this. I'm able. I am able.
Okay.
You are able.
Right. So we can say you and I are able.
So you and I are able. Yeah.
Thank you. Today we've learned a new thing about sign language. That's thank you. All right. So Sherry Silver, we are coming to also an end of this conversation, which is an ongoing conversation, of course, but you meet a lot of youth, you meet a lot of talents, be it the people with impairments or people without impairments. Do you work with people with impairments?
Yeah, of course. So working, of course, in my normal job, I work with all sorts of artists and dancers, musicians, business people, but even in the foundation, we do have some children with disabilities that we support, of course, to our capacity. Even on Monday, we're escorting a child who's come to our foundation, and apparently the mother doesn't know what the diagnosis is. She's gone to different hospitals and she doesn't know, but her child is very disabled. Yeah, so it's really nice sitting with you, and I can't understand all your struggles, of course, but even the small ones that are presented at our doors, I really respect people like you that go and advocate for other people who have these
Yeah.
limitations
Oh.
on them.
This is an ongoing conversation, and I think that it's about time that we take seriously the inclusivity and inclusion of everyone. So this is a good thing to hear from you, because that means that even people with disabilities shouldn't be held aside, or even held themselves aside, because sometimes it's possible to hold yourself back, to say I'm not capable, um, I shouldn't do this.
Yeah, like this child who I'm talking about, she's 9 years old and doesn't go to school.
Okay.
Because, you know, sometimes the dad left the house, and sometimes the parents just think, well, there's no hope. So it's important for them to have figures like Eric to look up to and believe in themselves.
Absolutely. So let's just have a round of your take home, or even what you would like our youth following us to take home. Let's start from Eric. What is that message that you would like to give in these 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, but also the advocacy in general of our sexual reproductive health rights?
So my advice in these 16 days of activism, many people with disability have the wrong mindset about GBV, but should remove that barrier and then tell everyone everyone has his own rights. We are not forcing anyone. The GBV should be respected. All the rights of someone should be respected as the same. No one is above the law. So should help everyone and respect their rights as how they are. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eric. I think that is super inspirational. And Sherry Silva, what is your take-home message you would like to share with the youth following us today? Also regarding to this 16 days of activism about gender-based violence.
Thank you. In these 16 days, I would just encourage young people to think about gender-based violence, think about people who are affected, research it. We've learned today from patients that it's not just, of course, directed to women. I'm sure many people knew before. Just really find out what is gender-based violence and also how to spot it, so you might be able to help somebody else, because a lot of people who are suffering from gender-based violence may not speak about it. So thinking how we can create safe spaces for people to talk about issues like these, and just to advocate for the struggles of gender-based violence, and what can you do to make a positive change?
Yes. Advocacy, and that is the take home to me. Advocacy through anything that you do, your talent, your skills, your platform, your friends, word of mouth. Use any way to advocate for gender-based violence, because this is the time where we live in a world that should be free and fair for everyone. So I once again thank you. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Patience. Thank you, Sherry Silva. Thank you, Billy, to have been with us and shared your journey and advices to the youth following us today. My name is Andy Umuno, and I'll be your host in this amazing talk show. By the way, remember to follow us on every social media platform. You can just click VSO Rwanda, MakeWay, and stay tuned, stay active, and make an impact.